Forever. Dog.
Well. Thank you so much for listening. Hi, everybody. It's Michelle Collins, live in London, meaning recording in London. Here now, I'm in week 3 of London lockdown. This is Midnight Snack. Happy to be here. If you want to follow me online, you can at Michcoll, Michcoll. You can review the podcast. Be sweet, be nice. But I have to introduce just my rock, a man I text with every day. There's not a day goes by that I do not have some sort of, repartee, Twitter DM perhaps. I love him like
absolutely.
family. He's called Dan Acton. What am I doing today? His name is Dan Acton. He's with us I don't know what's going on. I'm like a weird Mel Torme right now. He's a real sweet cat. His name's...
I feel like I'm going to come out in like a Liberace cape.
I do have rhinestones. Look at my sleeve. Maybe that's why I'm acting that way.
Oh,
I know.
Thank you.
It's a cute shirt, but it's almost big. Dare I say? I feel like it's like unflattering if I sat like that, but then when I sit like that, you're like, oh, I miss you. What's happening?
I know. I miss you too. It's been a couple weeks.
It has been.
Talk to you.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, scheduling is really hard now to do this. But I mean, obviously you must have a lot to say because I haven't talked to you in about a couple weeks.
Well, here's what I have. Yeah, exactly. Well, I put on a shirt for this podcast because a button-down shirt.
Yeah.
And I immediately just sat down like 2 minutes ago and a button flew off.
Ooh, flew or popped?
Hit this. Popped.
What number? What number down from the top? Or up from the bottom?
It's like the last one down.
the bottom. You know, it's funny.
Yeah,
it's
not great.
As a wide-hipped lady, I oftentimes cannot wear button-downs because of my boobs and my butt. And also because I tend to look like a female prison security guard in them. But there's a very specific look when you put me in it depends on what kind of button-down. Like I love a white button-down with like a puff sleeve, very chic. Like that kind of Ralph Lauren look. But if you put me in like an Ann Taylor, like a work, like a $39.99 white or blue work button down for ladies in
Terrible
my size
price for clothes.
Expensive. A stretch button down. I literally look like I just won the LPGA tournament. Like it's so ugly on me. It really takes me to a new place. And that's all right. But I'm sorry, but buttons constantly fly off of my clothing.
I don't know what to do.
I think you just got to sew it back on. Oh, it's right there. It looks like you're holding up a loose tooth.
No, it's right here.
I thought it was your molar fell out.
I also lost a couple teeth.
Swear to God, if you could see what I'm seeing right now, it looks like he held up a whole tooth from his mouth. I packed a pair of jeans that I put on the other day, and I packed a pair of broken jeans. I'm going to leave them here. The zipper was completely busted. No. I mean, I can't win. Anyway, Dan, so much to catch up on since I haven't talked to you in so long. I'm still here. I'm in my little lockdown phase. I'm not feeling, I'll tell you something funny. My quarantine ended last Saturday, but honestly, it hasn't really changed a lot for me. Now, I got some DMs from people who were like, you're breaking quarantine, because I did go with mask always to the market near me. And I got tested like 3 days after I landed, and I was negative, obviously, I did go for walks with mask. And like, obviously the idea of quarantine is you do not leave your apartment. I get it.
Yeah.
But
aren't you allowed to like walk around the block? Like you can have some physical activity.
I think that's for lockdown, not quarantine. I definitely fucked it up. But let me tell you something. Right. By the way, everybody was like, oh, what are you going to do for quarantine? I was like, I don't know. I guess I'll stay home. Not only did nobody check up on me, because people were like, yeah, they send cops around to people's homes to like knock and make sure you're there, like the Gestaps. I was like nervous that some like hot cop was going to come up here. Not only I never got a phone call, not a knock, not a Forrest Gump feather with a drone on it. What? I didn't get anything checking in on me. And as I mentioned, when I landed, not a single face-to-face. Everyone is like, how'd you get in? All these Americans are like, how did you get into England? I'm like, I went on United.com. I bought a flight and I came here, And the irony is that I did come here for work purposes, but obviously none of that is happening now because it's a lockdown. But frankly, I wanted to be here anyway. So I'm here. But yeah, things are actually nice. I was saying to someone, for me, because I honestly stay home almost the whole day. It's just really nice not being in my apartment in New York. And I realize that I sound so privileged saying that because everybody is doing what I was doing, which was living and then working out of your apartment. That for me was making me mentally feel sick, literally. And I don't know if it's because also like for Sirius, I have to be live every day and like perform. And, and I'm performing like from my living room with no pants on, with no view from my apartment. I mean, I can see sky. It's not like full Shawshank, but there's just like not a lot going on, So I just needed like a new, literally for my mental health, in addition to like professional reasons, I just needed a new place to go. And that was stupid of me. Exactly. I feel like it was selfish. I admit, I'm open to criticism for it. But what I've really been doing here is basically watching, like I bought an Amazon Fire Stick to be able to stream American TV because I had a whole thing going. It is still in the box because all I do every day is watch terrible British TV. I watch Frasier every single morning. I mean, I'm really living a perfect life. Like I have no
basically British TV.
Yeah, what is that accent? They love Frasier here. I think they think that Americans are like Frasier.
Oh.
When I tell people I have a radio show, like I actually it's funny watching Frasier do his job because I'm like, I'm Frasier. Like I do that.
I want to be Bulldog or
you could be my Roz. You're Roz.
Or Gil.
Oh no,
Gil,
Tracy is Roz. Oh, Gil. Yeah. Who is the sexier one? Bulldog or Gil?
Gil or Bulldog? Bulldog. Come on. Although I did sit next. Do you remember that Oscar Wilde themed bar?
Yeah, we went there. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I love that bar.
One time I was there and Gil was sitting next to me.
What?
And and I didn't say anything because I think he was in a play. Like the actor was in a play on Broadway or something at the time. But I was impressed. I thought it was really cool, but I didn't have the courage to say, love you, Gil.
Well, I don't think people are constantly barraging Gil with the attention he so desperately is seeking. So maybe you could.
I know. That's me with any celebrity that to me is like amazing. Yeah. I get super nervous. Like one time I saw TV's Frank from Mystery Science Theater.
Oh my God. I hate Mystery Science Theater. Go on.
You're out of your mind.
I know.
But like I was so like tentative to like walk up to him. He's very friendly. He's super nice.
But that's like cult shit. I feel like that people would be, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Okay, listeners. Now, I know that as a fan of Midnight Snack, you may have heard me talk about Brooklinen before. And surprise, surprise, I'm doing it again because it's the holiday season and Brooklinen has some of the coziest and most comfortable gifts out there. Listen, we're all stuck at home. Comfy gifts is like all we really have right now. We want things that bring us serenity, and lucky for you, Brooklinen's biggest sale of the year is coming soon. Brooklinen has something for everyone on your list. Why? Well, because their selection thinks about different needs and preferences when it comes to bedding, towels, you name it. They have candles, eye masks, scrunchies, for God's sake, and robes. You can give someone the full spa treatment right at home. And I think we can all agree that's something we all need. I ordered their classic sheet set in deep navy, and these sheets are not only comfortable, but they keep me very cool at night. And y'all know how hot I get at night. This sheet set is a 270 thread count, and now that I've slept on it, well, listener, I just can't go back. So cozy up to Brooklinen's biggest sale of the year happening right now. Brooklinen is so confident in their product that all of their sheets, comforters, loungewear, and towels come with a 365-day warranty. Get huge savings and free shipping during Brooklinen's biggest sale of the year only at brooklinen.com. That's BROOKLINEN.com. And use the promo code Midnight Snack to let them know our show sent you. That's brooklinen.com, promo code Midnight Snack. And if you can't wait for the sale, or if you're just hearing this and it's post Black Friday, Cyber Monday, all those days, you can still use that promo code Midnight Snack at brooklinen.com for 10% off and free shipping in the US anytime. Hey guys, with winter approaching, some listeners may be stressed about handling their mental health during a tough season. If you're feeling that way, you're not alone. And that's why I wanted to remind you about BetterHelp. BetterHelp is professional counseling done securely online. These are licensed professional therapists that are there for you, whether it be through phone or video sessions for whatever you want to work on. Plus, you can start to talk to them quickly in just under 48 hours. And no, it doesn't matter where you are. This service is available for clients worldwide, and it's more affordable than traditional offline counseling. Plus, financial aid is available to you if that is something that you need. You can also change counselors if you feel like you didn't find the perfect fit the first time. BetterHelp makes it free and easy to make a swap. It's no surprise that in such a trying year, so many people are using BetterHelp. BetterHelp is actually recruiting additional counselors from every state in the U.S. to work with these new clients. So if you're a counselor who's looking for work, you can also check out BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/Michelle. That's BetterHelp, and join the over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. And of course, I have a special offer for all of my listeners. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/Michelle. That's 10% off of your first month at betterhelp.com/Michelle. We have to mention something. Dan this week, Dan is you see, unlike a lot of people who send me animal videos, Dan goes out of his way to send me things that I've never seen. Like you really tend to
often dislike.
75% of the things I get from Dan are like from the Howard the Duck files of things I wish my brain had never, ever seen.
The response is always like swing and a miss.
Well, you're also into like old cartoons, which like that is not me.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? So Dan sent me this Craigslist ad. It was 2 days ago, I think you sent it to me.
Yeah.
And I don't have the exact ad in front of me, but basically it said like one pig couch, slightly used, something like that. And it said, actually I posted on my Instagram, I can pull it up. But the gist of it was, I bought this pig couch for $11,000. Got this pig-shaped couch a few years ago. It was designed by artist Pavia Burrows. I need to Google her, by the way. And is a really insane, cool addition to any home. Sure is. Especially if you love pigs. But even if you just like animals. Also very comfy. I'm going to stop right there and just say that I know that this ended up being a scam. Whoever wrote that made it sound so legit.
Yeah.
Like, because it really sounds like someone really trying to convince you that you would love this, even though it's obviously a $1 million work of art. You know what I mean? It'd be like, if you like pigs, well, no, duh, or animals, doy, like, look at it.
If you like pig couches, I have an item for you.
Listen, I'm not kidding. When I thought this was a real thing, I was like, I would have actually paid, honestly, probably $2,000 to $3,000 for it. I was like ready to, I just bought some dog art. You know what I paid for that? Selling it for $250, even though my boyfriend and I bought it for over $11,000 and it's in pristine condition. Needs someone.
Sure.
There's so many like pigsty jokes you could toss in. Need someone to pick it up ASAP. That's me. As my new boyfriend hates it. And sadly, this is non-negotiable. Now, let me also add, if I was dating a guy who didn't understand my pig couch, just off the bat, not going to work out. It's just not going to work.
The negotiations went on into the night. Ultimately, it was non-negotiable.
Her boyfriend is Russell Crowe in The Insider. He has like molester glasses on. I'm like, wow, he's really putting a tough act on. Dan sent this to me, and Dan, I was texting you. I was like, I need it. Like, I genuinely was like, I have a famous story of when I found my Crate and Barrel couch, which I love, at the outlets for $100. Do you remember that? And I just wanted to buy the cushions off of it because they were brand new, beautiful, fresh cushions. And they were like, no, because the frame had like chocolate, quote unquote, something smeared on it. And they were like, no, you have to take the whole couch. You can't just take, because I was willing, here's $100, toss it in the fucking garbage. Give me these beautiful new cushions. They wouldn't do it. And I left that couch there and it has haunted me. I'm not joking, because now my cushions, especially in quarantine, are like not as nice. They're just, I could use them. That has literally, it makes me nauseous to talk about it. Because by the way, to get a new cushion from Crate and Barrel, each one is like $200 minimum, For sure. So this pig couch was like, I'm not going to fuck this up again. I'm not, because like now I'm like, I could have hired a guy to come, paid him even if it was $100 to just take the thing away. You know what I mean? I really made a huge mistake. I wasn't in it, and now I was in it. And so I sent an email to the Craigslist. I'm going to pull it up. I haven't looked at it since I sent it. Because, by the way, twist, it was a scam, listener. My email said, let me see if I can find it. I'm so embarrassed. I already feel like my face feels hot and like really embarrassed. Wait.
I realized that I was texting with like 4 other people, giving them the play-by-play. I'm like, Michelle just emailed them. We're like, she's trying to get them on the show or something.
No, I was
like, it was going to be great.
Here it is. Now, the thing that sucks about Craigslist is this person now has my email address because I think that it unhides it. It doesn't hide it.
Yeah.
So I wrote it to, the email that I sent it to was 15F2D4019 1DA3A469, et cetera, at sales.craigslist.org.
Uh-huh.
Okay. In case anyone's interested. I wrote, so the subject is unique pig couch, must pick up ASAP. That was theirs, obviously.
Yeah.
I said, please tell me this is still available. But because, by the way, when I got this from you, no one was talking about it. I feel like I posted it before it became viral. I'm not saying I made it viral, but
no, I
hadn't seen it anywhere.
We talked about it.
Yeah,
same.
I said, I've never seen anything more perfect in my life. That's you have to see this couch. It's so stupid looking. The pig is also like so sad. Like his eyes are so like. I said, and if not, may I ask how you even got such a thing with 7 question marks? And so I dropped my I wrote, I have a radio show and would love to talk about this tomorrow. Because honestly, I was like, this is great. Or a podcast. Yeah. I was like, this would be great for the pod.
Oh, yeah.
You're obviously a genius. That's what I said. Your boyfriend needs to get on board. That's what I wrote. Thanks, Michelle. I thought that was a great email. Like, I'm flattering her. I'm assuming it's a woman. It may not be. But I like said, I have a radio show. I want to talk about you. You're obviously so smart. Now, what is the actual story? Because I'll be honest, I'm not going to lie to you. A lot of people sent me the Jezebel article, the New York Times. It was in the New York Magazine. Honestly, I was so hurt by getting tricked by it. And I felt so stupid for falling for it that I have not actually looked at any of the reveal articles because it made me feel too stupid.
I mean, I think that the scam was, I mean, it exists. Somebody made it. And actually the other photo in the New York Times makes it look even more chic. It's like a different angle.
Oh, what, the picture
really,
in the Times?
Yeah, it's really nice.
Oh, well,
it's like in an office.
The main photo is, this picture. It has like hay around it and leaves. Honestly, I don't like it at all. I don't like the addition of flies, whatever is on it, leaves. I don't like it at all. Can I read the story very quickly?
Yes.
This is from the Times. The Times covered it. It says, Abigail Rowe already had a couch, a hand-me-down from her ex-boyfriend's brother. But someday arrived sooner than she was expected. 2018, she was browsing the free stuff. If this fucking bitch got this... I'm sorry, I have to stop here because this is why I didn't want to read it. See, this is why I didn't want to read it. Because if I find out that this woman got this pig couch for free... I'm going to go full bodies exhibit on the Zoom. I'm going to literally rip the skin off of my body and reveal flesh and just scream. I'm not ready. When she saw the perfect couch, I'm going to fucking shit. I'm so angry. A bulging pink love seat shaped like a pig. The upholstery was shiny. Its eyes were vacant, just like me. Everything is about me. Slightly downcast, its tail, a bit of unraveled yarn jutting from its hindquarters, looked like an afterthought. The pig is expressive and sort of downtrodden. It looks inviting. So this person who posted it said he was a furniture artist. Oh, I see. So this is where the scam starts. Now I'm understanding it, that he would give it away to anyone who could explain in detail what it meant to them.
Oh.
She wrote a poem to him. See, now they didn't write the poem. I would love to know. By the way, if they had... See, this is a way to get people to get very creative. I would have written a full Les Mis musical, like a full parody musical where this pig was Jean Valjean and it like stole some corn from the local piggy bishop. Okay, wait. It says, when Andrew didn't respond, she doubted his intentions. And a reverse image search showed that her fears were founded. It was an ad from 2016. The couch was available, picked up in Boca. Okay, so I'm fast forwarding. So I fell for a scam. I can't believe this. Pig couch scam. How did it take me so long? How did it take so long to get to me?
It's just like too good to be true. Well, you know what? After we talked, I saw it. I watched How To with John Wilson.
Oh, yeah. People love that show. And
yeah, I love it. But they flashed to it as one of, it was an episode about furniture and furniture.
Wait, really?
And they just like flashed to it, but it was a different ad. So it had shown up like years ago, and he like took a photo.
Well, it turns out the woman I'm reading here named Ms. Martinez, she's a benevolent troll. So luckily, I don't think she's going to do anything horrible with my email address.
No, I hope not.
But she's saying that Pavia, it really is from an artist named Pavia Burrows. By the way, she's 31 years old. I wonder if I could commission something from her. I would love a gorilla seat.
Absolutely should.
I want like I'm going to end up like dry humping that shit every night. I'm like, yeah, can I have it? It's going to be my real doll, basically. I want King Kong in my apartment. You call me, I'm straddling it. I'm like, just watching TV. What's going on? Anything happening? She says that the artist wants people to know it's a chair, not a couch. His name is Hillhock, a portmanteau of hillock, a small knoll on which to sit, and hamhock, a cut of pork. That's cute. He's hand-stitched from velvet that you could clearly see in satin, stuffed with foam. He's lightweight despite his bulk. Same. He was part of a living room set. Wait, I wish I could see the whole shit.
Living
I
room
see.
Set.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was inspired by an image in Masquerade, a picture book by Kit Williams that she pored over as a child. And there was a man sitting on a pig in it. By the way, if this woman doesn't seriously become so wealthy, like that one of her pieces of art has literally become its own, has now written about in the Times because so many people want it. You know what I mean? Like,
yes,
she should start. Yeah. I feel like, why isn't Crate and Barrel making piggy furniture? Like, people need to start thinking out of the box. You know, I'm here at an Airbnb. It's a nice enough couch, but it's very uncomfortable and it's like very low backed, which I hate. If there was like a huge, anteater here, I would sit on it.
They could charge like 50, 100 pounds more a night. I don't know what they use.
Pounds. You're right.
Pounds.
Literally physical pounds. Mm-hmm.
100 pounds more per night with something like that. That's the photo that I really
There
like.
is the classiest picture. There's a picture of this pig couch. And I got to say, you know what though? It really looks horrible. I actually, you know what? I actually feel like this picture has broken the curse for me because it's in like a nice apartment, nice rug, but look at how it lays. Yeah. You know what? It's actually terrifying. It's actually very disgusting. Now that I'm really looking at it, can you imagine walking into someone's house? It's like Hannibal Lecter and that would be sitting there. It's really funny, honestly. But by the way, so the person who owns it, because it's in Maryland, I guess, has received offers. I have to tell you something. I think the couch is worth a lot more than 11 grand. It's, to me now, yes. It's like with the Banksy, you know, where it's the attention that's been attached to it. That's like 90% of art is not so much what it is, but like what is the buzz surrounding it. And that now it's like an international sensation. I would wonder if the price of something like that would be almost up to 50, 60,000. I'm not joking. There's someone out there who would pay that.
You could get away with it. Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
That's not even that much.
It's nothing.
Well, Dan, I gotta say, just the treasure and treat I get from hearing your laugh and seeing your face week in, week out, it makes me feel so alive. And thank you for taking time out of your work day to join us today. Everyone, give it up for Dan Acton. Follow Dan at Dan_Acton. And he's going to have some other stuff to shill, I'm sure, in the coming weeks. We'll talk about it. Yeah. All right. But we have a great guest on today, Andrew T. Let's introduce him now. Hey folks, you know, it's cold out. We're in the middle of a global pandemic, for God's sake. It's made us all into home chefs we really never wanted to be. and we're exhausted. We don't want to run to the store in the cold and think of a new recipe. And hey, you know what? You don't have to, because we have HelloFresh. HelloFresh offers convenient, no-contact delivery to your doorstep for easy home cooking with your family, your roommates, yourself. And if you're like me, sick of eating the same thing over and over and over again, HelloFresh offers more than 20 chef-crafted, delicious options every week to help you break out of that recipe rut. Try new things and make any normal night feel unique. I love switching between HelloFresh and my other meal kit partner, Green Chef, because it really gives me different options and new things to try. When I was making their Parmesan chicken recipe, I was so much more relaxed in the kitchen because everything was just laid out for me. It was just ready to go, and folks, it was delicious. HelloFresh is committed to donating to those in need. Listen to this. 2020, so far this year, they have donated 3.5 million meals. That's really incredible. And you can help too with HelloFresh's Beyond the Box program, where you give nutritious meals to those experiencing food insecurity with just a couple of clicks in the app. So check out HelloFresh. Just go to HelloFresh.com/90Michelle and use the code 90Michelle to get $90 off, including free shipping. That's HelloFresh.com/90Michelle and use the code 90Michelle, 2 L's, to get $90 off, including free shipping. First of all, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to open this podcast by saying the angle of which your camera is pointed right now. I just want to paint a picture because I know it's an audio podcast. Mm-hmm. I do feel like you're straddling me, and I hope that's okay to say. It's pointing up at you, and I love it. Honestly, I feel safe.
This is, I don't know about straddle. I feel like there's a little bit of like, you're feeling a little sick, and you're just, you're just on the couch. You're on the couch, and I'm, I guess, straddling your ass. I don't know what's happening here. This is
well, no better way to start this episode, or at least welcome our guest, who
what up?
Who, by the way, I'm so excited you're doing this, Andrew. I've known you now. Let me say before I introduce you that I talked to I have a cousin in Australia, believe it or not. I don't think he would mind me saying his name, which is Richard Skimmins. Okay, that's his actual name.
Sure.
And that's really his name. And he's lovely. Yeah. And he listens to the podcast with his kids in the car. And he was like, every time you have guests on, you never introduce them properly. Like, I don't know, like Americans know who these people are, but I as an Australian don't know. And I took that note to heart. So I'm going to introduce you like a real host.
Oh, dang. Okay.
You ready?
All right. Yes, please. Let's go. Let's see it.
First of all, we went to college together.
I know. Crazy. I was going to say, we've known each other forever. He's the host. We're going to talk all about college. I have so much to say. He hosts one of the most brilliant podcasts, and he's been hosting it way before it was cool to be woke. I feel you were so far ahead of the wokeness game, Andrew. It's called Yo, Is This Racist? It's still funny. It's so funny. It's 90%, 99% name. Once you get the title out, it's kind of like you get what you're getting. But if you get a chuckle from the fucking name,
I mean, it's just so funny because I feel like, yo, is this racist? That's like everyone is always walking that line. We'll talk about that. He's also, and I just found this out, and I'm so excited for you. You're one of the writers on the ABC show Mixed-ish.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Doing that, doing the 80s thing, doing the Blackish universe thing. It's really. It's weird making TV these days, but
Well, I'm ready to talk about all of it. His name is Andrew T. You have to follow Andrew. Literally one of the funniest people I know. At Andrew T. I really mean it, on Twitter and on Instagram. My friend Andrew T, who I now go 22 years back with, technically, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say we've crossed a line where I've known you longer than I haven't known you, which is
my God. And yet we barely know each other.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Well, I think that's college. That's perfect.
We were like in the same, I would say, circles, like speaking of the universe, like the, Kenya universe, we were sort of, we weren't good friends in college, but like we certainly got along well. And I always thought you were very funny. And so it makes sense that this is what you're doing with your life. Do you ever think about, because now you're living in LA. Mm-hmm. Do you miss Morningside Heights, Andrew T?
Oh, interesting. I was going to say part of the reason why we weren't super close is that you were in the group of people that knew what they wanted to do in college.
Like you guys were like, yeah, we're gonna make, you know, amazing, you know, comedy shows, whatever. And I was like, because I was like a neuroscience major, I kind of still in the back of my brain through college, I was like, I'm gonna be a scientist. So like,
I didn't know that you majored in neuroscience.
I don't talk about it because it's like I was really, really bad at it, like really amazingly bad at it.
Whoa!
And I did not realize that, like, because all those assholes wanted to be doctors and I didn't. I was like, I'm going to be a brilliant scientist. And then let's just say there are multiple practicing physicians now in the world who probably are good physicians who would routinely cheat off me in biology.
You're joking.
So I'm not. It's there's some real dum-dums with your lives in their hands, and you know what? More power to them.
Wait a minute.
Power to them.
Are you saying that there are practicing professionals who in college, you know for a fact, copied off of you?
Yes.
I mean, this is like some bullshit, Ilaldo, to quote Martin Lawrence. This is bullshit, Ilaldo. How did you know they were copying? Did you, because let's be honest, let's talk about cheating in school, because actually I do love this topic of conversation. I 100% cheated in high school. No question. We had a kid in our school who would make all the TI-85 programs. He knew how to like hack everything for pre-calculus and stuff. So we used to cheat all the time. And I definitely cheated off of people. I was a cheat. I mean, there's no question.
Yeah.
Like I did it.
Yeah.
Did you ever cheat, or you were the cheatee? Interesting.
So the cheating was of the level of, because we were in like the humongous biology lecture hall. Right. And it's just like, hey, what'd you get for 35? You know, that sort of thing. It wasn't
that's
like
not bad. Okay.
A wholesale, like, hey, copy my whole thing.
Yeah.
But it's like a, hey, you know, what'd you do for this? What'd you do for that? Sort of a whisper thing.
Don't you feel though a little bit bitter that nowadays kids have programs where you can plug in entire professional essays and it automatically turns them into written a completely different essay, so you can turn it in and get the credit? Because I would have 100% used that.
Amazing. I don't know how school could possibly function these days.
I know.
It seems like how could you possibly evaluate someone? Or sorry, I should say, I thought, so to going back a little bit. So while y'all were spending your 20s, you know, pursuing your actual dreams.
Thank you.
I spent my 20s like working in, you know, for like for tech companies and like, you know, computer programming stuff. So I've had like, I think like more experience as a like real sad office worker than I think most of the people we went to college with. So what I will tell you is, I think the reality of working in a, you know, white-ish collar job situation is cheating is actually a really good skill for that, because it doesn't matter how you came up with the answer. You just need the right thing. And you have all the resources in the world at your disposal. So except for the tiny sliver of ethics, like I'm like, yeah, cheating probably is like, if you can like produce a good essay, it doesn't really matter how you did it.
Finally, you're making sense. No, I'm joking. Now you're making sense. I completely agree. And by the way, I had shitty office jobs. I was not, just to clear my name, I was not a kid who I went to Barnard, as you know, but I did not go to school. I took out college loans. I was like a middle class Miami girl who could not pursue comedy without working, because we knew some of them. We have friends who were able to do that. That was not me.
That was not what I meant. I guess what I meant was even into like my 30s. I think I was like 32 before I quit having like a day job, and I was like on a decent track to be like a very boring person.
Wow.
So I was like doing that shit for a decade, 11 years.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
What were you doing? You were doing like, I feel like Bitcoin. Like, am I saying things? What were you doing? Were you in Bitcoin?
God, no. I was like doing like crappy programming jobs, and then I worked in at Comedy Central in like digital media, like forever and ever. I think when you were at Best Week Ever, it was like we were like kind of like, I think ultimately like 5 levels up, we had the same boss kind of stuff.
Absolutely, they always got fired.
You know what I mean?
I'll tell you this. Anytime I've had a boss, they don't last more than 6 months. If you are my boss, you will lose your job. My nickname for this phenomenon was that I was boss office poison, which I thought was genius.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying it here.
Good.
Thank you.
Very good.
But honestly, when I worked at VH1, I was there for 6 years. I must have had no less than 7 bosses, like big bosses. I'm talking, not just direct superiors, and they all one by one got chopped. And did you end up, can I ask a personal question? Did you leave Comedy Central or did they lay you off? And I'm only asking because they were known for layoffs, as was VH1.
So I fucked up big time. I left
oh, shit.
on my own. And then not 2 months later, everyone in my department got laid off.
Oh my God.
But
that is my worst nightmare. Go on.
Everyone got severance except for me. I remember thinking like, oh my God, if I'd waited 2 more months, I would have had literally like, I think at the time they were giving you like a month's salary for every year you worked there. And I'd been there like 9 years.
I'm shitting in my pants. Well, you know what? We have that in common because I have never in my lifetime received severance, which is a good thing, I guess. Yeah. But I mean, I've been fired, but I've never been fired where they're like, also here's money. Like they're just like, get your shit and get out. I'm like, okay, no one ever wants to like thank me for my hard work for some reason.
No, it's wild. What a system. What a system. No, so I fucked up there big time. And then actually speaking of poison,
go on.
So then one of the things that let me quit that day job was I sold Yo, Is This Racist as like a pilot. We sold it to ultimately 1, 2, 3 places. So the real thing that happened was literally every exec that initially brought the project in was fired immediately.
No.
I just murder execs with Yo, Is This Racist?
But you know what's funny? That it's, number one, that was this must happen all the time because that was an entire storyline on Seinfeld. When they sold the pilot, Jerry, and Bob Balaban was the head of NBC famously, and then he got fired and then they got fucked. That's basically what happened to me on The View, funny enough. Same thing, where I was hired by people who like loved me. They got it. They supported me. They lost their jobs right before I officially started mine. And so the people who came in were just like, who the fuck are you? And I'm like, hi, I'm coming in there like full Gandalf, like, hi, everyone. Nice to meet you. Like, you don't know who I am, but I promise I'm good. And so to start, it's like with anything, everybody always in this business that we're in, people want credit. Like, I feel like executives are solely there to take credit for other people's talent. And so in your case, in my case, like, because no one could really claim credit for us, no, why would anybody want to put their time into it? It's not worth it for them to do that, and it's bullshit, honestly.
Yeah. It's, if anything, actually, they're disincentivized to make anything work from before. It's really weird. It's a really weird system that I still do not understand. But yeah, it was really just like, who is going to get fired next by taking a chance on the racism show?
It was almost like the Jumanji board game. Like anyone who got or like The Ring, anyone who bought your show was just really buying themselves, packing their shit and going out. Jerry Maguire style. It's a beautiful message, Andrew. I don't know what it is. I'm going to think it through and figure out what the message of that is. Let's talk about your podcast a little bit because not a little bit. I'll spend the rest of the hour. I did it many years ago. I think I lived in LA when I came on, so it was a long time ago.
I think so. Yeah.
And, the funny thing is this question has always been part of everyone's, at least anyone with any sort of, we're talking about ethical code or morals or whatever.
Right.
You never want to sound racist. I mean, my God, that's like everybody's basic. I say this as a white woman. My worst nightmare is anybody thinking I'm racist. Like I would just freak,
Yeah.
But there are so many, things that people don't even know are racist. Like when I learned that spirit animal was racist, that term spirit animal, which alludes to like a Native American thing, which really shouldn't be borrowed. And how many dumb white girls were like, spirit animal. Like everybody was saying that shit, So there are things we say we don't even know that they're racist. We have good intentions and we learn from them. So first question is, I had to get that off my chest at the top. But
please, no, I'm with you.
I have so much to say because funny enough, I feel like every day I'm learning more and more information, like how the melody that the ice cream truck plays is like this racist song. Horrible.
It's so nuts.
And now I hear it and it's like in a horror movie. I hear the ice cream melody now and I'm like, it's like hearing Michael Jackson. I'm like, I can't believe anyone still thinks it's okay to play that. But in the meantime, when you started, let's talk about when you started it to today, which has been 9 years you've had this podcast, basically.
Jesus. Oh my God.
No offense, but you've been doing it forever.
No. I have purposefully not kept track, but yeah. Because for a long time, it's just like, it was like, Earwolf at the time, like, let me do whatever. And there wasn't like, I was mostly just thinking of it as like Twitter almost. It's just like a thing that's like, it'd be cool. It was basically before podcasting was any kind of business.
Right.
So it was just like, yeah, this is just, thank you for letting me yell into a microphone. And that's sort of it.
That's my whole career is based off of that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's like, yeah. But again, I feel like you and a bunch of our cohorts were like better at it. So I was like getting in my reps of learning how to be a human being in front of a microphone or in front of people when I was like 30.
Yeah, but that's a beautiful, you're like Kamala Harris,
Mm-hmm.
Like they're just people.
No, that's it. That's it.
I'll stop.
I'm exactly.
Now, was that racist?
No, go ahead.
Andrew, you're the expert. No, but why did you want initially to start? I think where I'm heading with this line of questioning is like, it's the most de rigueur topic now. And yet 9 years ago, when people were tweeting, people who are now canceled or were canceled for tweeting like racist jokes, 9 years ago, you were ahead of it. So why did you want to start that particular message to begin with?
What's funny is, I mean, really, like, speaking of my work, which is like, and this is, I want to say this now, which is like, I'm not trying to like, I think this would have been the case anywhere where I work. So it happens that I was at Comedy Central, right, or anywhere in entertainment. And yeah, I don't want to, this is not to shit on them, but I was so frequently the only person of any color in so many rooms when I worked there. So, and it's not at all a bad workplace, and they're not like especially racist for like a humongous corporation or anything like that. But it was like any time, basically the reason I started the podcast was I kept on getting asked that question. And I was like, frankly, that's the fact that like a well-educated, like at the time, upper middle class, like middle class, upper middle class, whatever, like Asian man is like the most color you can get is not a good sign. That in of itself.
I'm laughing, but I'm crying because it's just, I know that's in every TV job I've had, that is an issue. Yeah. And you want to know, I think I'll start by saying, and this is, by the way, we're going to talk about this, I feel like the whole hour, because it's really, there's so much to say about it, I feel. Yeah. But look, as we were saying before, if you don't have family money, and this is known already, you cannot get entry-level jobs in TV. When I graduated, and I'm a white girl, I'll say 10 more times in case people don't know who I am. Some people think I'm Wendy Williams based on my voice, and I love that. That's flattery where I come from.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, my first job out of college was at the Sci-Fi Channel. Horrible job working in their PR department. They should have never hired me. They were paying me, I think, $27,000 a year. This was in 2002. And my checks per week were like $300. Like it was like, you couldn't live off that money. And my parents in New York, forget it. Yeah, I had cheap rent. My parents never super helped me, but they would definitely send me money. I wouldn't be able to survive off of it.
Yeah.
So, when people are coming in from lower income areas, it's already, that's when we talk about like, because people don't get systemic racism. Sometimes it takes a while. That's it. It's like, they're already starting at a lower thing. I'm just giving it an encyclopedic kind of background to why TV is so fucking white. Because it is.
Yeah. And I think, so that's sort of the secret. I think like going back to actually your intro, one of the things that I used to get as hate mail, and it would kind of bother me, but I'm realizing is sort of the opposite, which is like people would write in or call in for the podcast and be like, you're cheapening the word racist. If you, as I do, call everything racist, then that like, cheapens the idea. And like cheapening the word racist is like a thing that like, I actually think more of us should look, we're a country that is dominating the world that was built on slavery. So like, it's okay for like everything to be racist and just like talk about it in those terms. So it's like, it's no one's fault. Hollywood's a great example, right? Because like no one in Hollywood really is racist. And yet every year we make a product, if you add up every single second of screen time in Hollywood, it's like, overwhelmingly straight white men directing, in charge, executives, whatever, not exclusively. So it's like, okay, points of view, all that shit. Like, so you're like, okay, but no one's racist,
but
with exceptions.
But deep down, I mean, it's like the Anna Wintour thing too. Like Anna Wintour, who, by the way, just between us, my sources tell me that article that came out about her in the Times, that sort of, which I actually thought was honestly quite lighthearted, if anything. I've not lighthearted, but I have heard such horrible things about Anna Wintour and being explicitly racist and saying terrible things. And they fought so hard to can that article that I feel like what ended up getting released was just like a Muppet Babies version of the information that they had because they were afraid of her. So there is still, people are still not being kind of held up to the standard that they really should be. I mean, back in 2011, 2012, when you had comedians making jokes where the joke was that the racism was irony. Because how many in the past year or two people got canceled for tweets from even like a Sarah Silverman or whatever, where the joke is clearly, I'm not racist, but can you imagine if I was? Did that like ping for you back then? Or was that only something that in the new tone, like, how do you feel about people getting canceled for stuff from a different era, even though the intention is actually really negative and bad?
Yeah, it's exactly. Yeah. I would say so like many things, actually, it's less the crime than the cover up, if you will. And this is going to sound weird coming from me, but I'll just say it and we can, talk it through.
I'm excited.
I actually think like for what it's worth, like Lena Dunham does like some of the best job of this, which is like she fucks up constantly, but she rarely defends herself. She's like, oh my God, I didn't know. And, then it kind of like maybe goes over to all right, you should start to know some of this stuff at a certain point. The number of tries you've had. But it's really like, I think like it's the defensiveness and the evasiveness that is like really causes the problem. Because I think that's the thing. It's like, and that's sort of the magic of Yo's This Racist a little bit, is that the word racist is so hot button because to many people, it feels like completely black or white, something you can never recover from. And so you need to defend yourself from that phrase tooth and nail, or the word, whatever. And the reality is it's like, no, we're all living on stolen land, and the wealth of our nation is built on slavery and all this stuff. So it's fine. Like, it's not fine, but like you're no more complicit than like
I just want everyone to know, I don't think it's fine. I just want people listening to know that I'm not going to get canceled because of you. I'll tell you right now, you're not going to cancel me on my podcast, Andrew T.
I'm just setting traps. I'm setting traps, Michelle. You're falling into one of these traps.
I already feel like I have, and it's like, wait, I'm literally just trying to promote your podcast.
But what I mean is like there's like, if you can embrace the change and this idea of change. And so I actually think like maybe Sarah Silverman's an even better example, right? Because I remember actually like in my capacity at Comedy Central, and again, this is going to sound like I'm specifically going after her, and I'm really not.
No.
And it's not even going after. It's not negative. Which is like at the time I was working with her on a project, and very tangentially, very low level personally, but she had just had that like I Love Chinks bit was on Kimmel or whatever, which was like, it made like
I forgot about that, by the way. That was so bad. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it's one of those things where it's like when you're operating from a type of comedy, like where the assumption is you're not racist,
right?
And thus like this thing, and I didn't think she was racist, but also I wasn't positive. And that was the thing that was hard, right? Was that anytime something went wrong, or anytime like I wasn't doing the thing that she wanted. And again, this is all in my head.
Oof,
but like I'm
so
not
tough. God.
But you can't I'm like, probably she's not racist, but I don't know.
And by the way, I'm sure if she heard this, I'm not defending her with this, because actually I had forgotten about that. I won't even say that C word. P.S. I will not repeat what you said, but
sure. Yeah.
But I'll deny the Holocaust. You know what I mean? Because I'm Jewish.
Yeah.
No, okay, you get it.
We all have our thing. We all have our thing.
But no, honestly, that is such a bad feeling what you're saying. It's interesting. Funny enough, with the Jewish thing too, where when people joke about it and you're like, well, obviously they're joking. And then you're like, okay, but where is that joke even coming from? And why
Yeah.
Like people don't like to be corrected either. Is the other thing. They really don't.
I think that is to me the skill that I think like hopefully my podcast, but like generally people are learning, which is like, of course, no one likes to be corrected. Like, however, by far the best way to dig yourself out of it is to take the correction. You know, I'm sorry I didn't know. My bad. Like, my bad is so much easier than like whatever.
My next professional apology, like I'm not hiring anyone to help me. I'm doing, guys, my bad.
My bad. My bad. But
Andrew, it is. I know.
Goes so far. It really does.
You know what I think we should do? Let's put a pin in part 1. I'm having the best time with you. I'm so grateful that you are doing this. I really,
this is wonderful.
I love talking to you. So this is fun. We are going to have more with the brilliant Andrew T. I want to talk to you about Mixed-ish on the next episode, part 2. But if you haven't already, go subscribe to his podcast, Yo, Is This Racist? Watch Mixed-ish. Follow him at Andrew T on Twitter and Instagram. He's hilarious on both, really. And we'll do some advice next time. I want to talk to you about all kinds of bullshit.
I love giving advice.
It's all I ever want to fucking do. Like, truly, I don't even. Let's get through all this racism talk so I can give some advice. But I also want to ask you, we'll talk a little bit more about cancel culture in the next episode because I have questions about it too. So we'll be back Thursday.
Forever Dog.
This has been a Forever Dog production. Midnight Snack with Michelle Collins is executive produced by Brett Boehm, Joe Cilio, and Alex Ramsey. Produced by Tracy Soren. Original theme music by Gabe Lopez. Cover art by Ben Wiseman. To listen to this podcast ad-free, sign up for Forever Dog Plus at foreverdogpodcasts.com/plus. Check out video clips of our podcasts on YouTube at youtube.com/foreverdogteam. And make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Forever Dog Team to keep up with all the latest Forever Dog news.